Hello, and thank you for listening to Our Yard Podcast. This is a very special episode today because we finally reveal to you that we're not actually human. I'm a badger. And anyway, with that being said, let's kick off this Raw review.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. All of our Yard podcast listeners, we're coming live from full time. This is Damn. This is our Raw review. We're damn starting off with Randy Orton coming out and everybody singing his theme song after 15 years. Thanks France for that. So Randy Orton comes out there.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. He comes out there and he's he's just spitting on the microphone like he always does. Like, it's just classic Randy Orton shit, and just talking about the match, getting ready, talking about becoming a 15-time champ and all that. And, here comes your man, Gunther, the ring general. And he comes out there and he's ready. And old Gunther's just like, listen, we ain't, we're not dealing with this. Like, you're nobody. I mean, brother, like, I don't know, he's just dogging the fuck out of Randy. It's kind of wild. I mean, I get it. Like, I know it's a storyline and shit, but it's just wild. Like, hearing like how he does it. Like Gunther's so fucking good at like just saying, like, just being a heel. Really, I guess, in essence, like, like Gunther's just like, yeah, it's like, just be a fucking dickhead and like say the most, like hurtful shit to get under your skin. That's pretty much what he does, and like he ended up, they ended up coming face to face, and here comes old Ludwig Kaiser out there to come behind, hit a low blow on well, that wasn't a low blow, I guess, because that's technically a nut shot. So it'd have been a damn chop block, like at the knee, and he hit Randy from the back, and then Randy came back, hit him from the back,
I heard
and
that.
then Randy 6'5", 290 from the back, but yeah, but old Randy. He comes, like, he turns around, then him and Ludwig start fighting. And damn, they start going after it. And then, Gunther chimes in with them, and it's just a big old brawl. Like, they, get the upper hand on Randy, and pretty much just leads up for the match between for Kaiser and Randy later on in the night, and kind of, just building the story for Gunther and Randy Orton for bashing Berlin. Which, I mean, honestly, at this point, like, hell, like, I know it doesn't make sense maybe for Randy to win. I guess, like, you would think, oh well, Gunther. Like, this whole time, I'm like, yeah, Gunther's just gonna win. Like, he's gonna have a long title reign. But on the other hand, I started thinking, I'm like, what if Gunther? It's like the same thing. Like, he takes his eye off the prize. It's kind of like what he did with Sammy. Like, he didn't take him that serious, and then like, he does the same shit with Randy Orton, which I don't know why the fuck you would do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, not taking him serious, and the next thing you know, you're like, damn, like, Gunther loses his title pretty quick, and then. But see, like, and I know it kind of sounds weird saying that, but at the same time, it's like, if he does lose it pretty early on, he can be like, it'll be his redemption arc. Like, fuck, I gotta be the best part. Like, I gotta be the best champion. Like, locked in. And then honestly, he would probably, like, even if Randy won it, like by some chance, I mean, hell, he wouldn't have the damn title for a damn month. I mean, that's usually like you go back and look at any of Randy's reigns, like he never. I mean, he's never just had a long ass title reign. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he held it for like literally a month and then lost it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just like because if you put him like that would also go into the title picture. Like if he got 15 titles, he would pass Triple H, and then he'd be right behind Flair. And then if Cena wins the title, because I'm pretty sure Cena's going to win the title at probably Elimination Chamber or something. If he wins Cody's title, like if Cena wins Cody's title, then he'll be a two. Like that'll count as two times. As once of the Universal, once WWE, which would give Cena 18. And say if Randy beat him for it, then Randy would be at 17. They would both be past Flair, and they'd both be one
Yeah,
and
the
two. You know what I'm
definitive
saying?
1 and 2.
Yeah. And they would be the most. They would be. I mean, arguably, they are the best. Like the number 1 and 2, like best pure WWE superstars of all time, because that's all they've ever wrestled for is WWE. So it
Hmm.
would make sense to have them as your one. You're the the most champions in the world, like the most championships held by them, because it'd be like, yeah, that just shows you that WWE has like the best. Like it would just be like for WWE's sake, like these are our best dudes of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they won all their world titles here, not somewhere else. So I mean, that's just some. I guess that's just some long term booking in my head. I just went on a little bit of a spill. I just have a lot of thoughts. I guess it's what the podcast is supposed to be for, anyways. But I just have a lot of thoughts about Gunther and Randy, like because I know they're going to put on a great match, and I'm very excited for it. And this goddamn storyline, fucking Triple H, he's cooking these storylines like at short notice, and it's fucking one like it's just like the last two times, like with Gunther and Damian Priest, there was nothing, and then bam, big storyline, hook, line, and sinker, you're in it. At SummerSlam, you're like, fuck, I'm invested, and it only been 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Same way now, like it's the same way with Randy and with Randy and Gunther. Like it was nothing, then all of a sudden here, like, I mean, they did have the little history at King of the Ring, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody had thought about it in a few months, and then bam, here comes Randy Orton, and then like Triple H just like, hell, you mind if I cook real quick? And here
Oh
we
yeah.
are. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep rambling on about the shit. I mean, overall, like it was A+. Well, I'd give it an A, I guess. Like as far as just the whole segment, like it was really good, and like I said, it dealt with a lot of the storytelling. So you know, that's mostly I'll give a little foreshadowing, I guess. With that is like the most of the show was a lot of the show was storytelling. Getting up ready for Bash in Berlin more than it was matches. But I mean, there was a decent amount of matches, but there was a lot of storytelling. But Trevor, he'll get into that too. Like this, we got a bunch of stuff. So, but anyways,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah. So this. So right after that, it pretty much went into a, flashback of showing Pete Dunne beating the shit out of Sheamus with a shillelagh, and I guess kayfabe breaking his hand, but he had it wrapped up, and he was favoring it quite a bit during his entrance, and then Pete Dunne comes out, and after what we learned last week, I mean, pretty much this entire beef is because of the whole Butch thing. And to Pete's credit, I mean, he has every right to be upset with that. If he's trying to make it as Pete Dunne, he doesn't want to be Butch. And I don't know if they planned on doing this storyline like that from the start with him, but if they did, my hat's off to him. Kind of to reiterate what you said, Triple H is cooking with the storylines right now. I think there's only like one or two in the entire company right now that I'm not like fully invested into the way I am with others.
yeah,
But This one is definitely one I'm invested into. Um, but anyway, this leads into the Pete Dunne and Sheamus match, and I mean they were beating the hell out of each other before the bell even rang because I mean that's par for the course. And Pete Dunne looks excellent. Like he is really coming into his own as a worker. I mean, he's been one of my favorite wrestlers ever since I seen him. But going from like wrestling at like a YouTube channel's about wrestling's wrestling promotion to being like involved in a major storyline with one of the most decorated wrestlers of his era. I mean, he's definitely coming into his own. People aren't going to forget who he is, I don't think. And sky's the limit with him. But they put on a wonderful match. He winds up hitting him with a he Pete Dunne winds up getting Sheamus's injured hand, kind of like pulled into the middle turnbuckle on the left, on the near left side of the hard camera side, and he winds up doing a running kick into that turnbuckle, and Sheamus, which as goofy as it was, I really love this spot, just rips the turnbuckle off with his broken hand and just hits a bro kick for the 1, 2, 3. And Sheamus won the match. I'd have to give it like a B plus at the very least, probably A minus, something like that. But overall, like I think Sheamus won the match, but Dunn's winning the war right now because it didn't really even like he was laughing at the end of the match. He didn't even care about losing. He just cares about hurting him right now. And I think everything he's doing. Again, like I've said this before on the pod, the heels are written wonderfully right now. Like everything, like there might be like outside of the bloodline, there might be outside well the bloodline and the Judgment Day. There's not really many heels that don't have a solid reason for being the way they are. I mean, Drew McIntyre is probably the best example, but I feel like Pete Dunne is definitely on that same trajectory, and Braun Breaker as well as Bronson Reed. I mean, Bronson's out of control, but I mean, you understand why. I mean, he saw what Braun Breaker did. Adam Pearce didn't stop it, and here we are.
It doesn't look
So
like it's stopping Bronson either. So.
yeah, so it is what it is. But we will get into that particular part later. Right after that, it shows the New Day in the back.
Yeah. And then the New Day. This is something. This is such a weird storyline because you're like, am I into it? And I don't know. You just like Final Testament, kind of like you're like, well, at least they're getting some heat now, I guess. But you're kind of like they're just so I don't know boring. I don't like. This is the best way I can put it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, but on the other hand, you got the New Day, and I don't. I mean, they got to do something like with this New Day shit. They got to make something pop. Like maybe Big E come back or something. I don't know. Something's got to happen because like you have the New Day doing all this. Why the fuck are they not in the damn tag team title chase right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, because the
No.
tag team division is fucking weak. Why don't you have the greatest WWE tag team of all time fucking going after like putting people over? You know what I mean? Like they don't
Well,
make
yeah.
sense. But anyways, that's a rant. I'm trying to hold myself back a little bit, I guess. But anyways, Xavier Kofi's like, hey, I noticed something was wrong. I just want to talk to you about all this, and he's like, yeah. So my problem is, you just bringing in Odyssey Jones, like trying to replace Big E, and I would never do that. Of course, I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this the last few weeks, and it hasn't
Mhm.
really done much, but except for Xavier finally told him about it, like told him how he felt. He's like, "Yeah, I think you're trying to replace Big E." He's like, "No, I'm not doing that. We're veterans now. Like, you remember how hard it was when we were getting the New Day off the ground?" He's like, "I was just wanting to help help these guys coming in." He's like, "Yeah, that's my bad." He's like, "I guess I, just took it the wrong way." He's like, "That's my problem, I guess." Which just seems like he's still mad about it. Like he's gonna end up turning heel. I guess, spoiler alert, if you watch, like, he's just fucking mad the whole time anyway. So there you go with that. Like during the whole after the match and all that. But anyways, they have their big man back there. Kofi's like, "No, I ain't trying to do that." And yeah, it's just a back and forth, and it looks like and then Odyssey comes back there and daps him up, and he's just like, Xavier's like, "Fuck, why is this dude grabbing me right now?" It's like that's what he looked like. That was the look on his face. But and then
He don't.
the what?
No, I was just gonna say he don't. He don't seem to fuck with him at all.
No, not one bit. But yeah, and then we had Braun Breaker's career, pretty much his whole career story vignette coming. Being the most dominant NXT champion, as he says, and which I mean, it's kind of hard to. I mean, truthfully, it's kind of hard to like debate that. I mean, you can obviously like you got Ilya who had a historic fucking run before he came up to the main roster. Of course, Gunther, like there's been some great champions, but like, nah, dude was like Braun Breaker, 2-time NXT champion. Like, dude, he's just a stud. I mean, he's just a genetic freak, which is kind of what he just went after. That was the whole thing about his story, and it was just showing him like since he got to the main rock, like just demolishing people and all that stuff. And his lead up to getting the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam, and defeating Sammy in a 2 out of 3 falls match last week, and now they got which I mean we'll get into it later as well, I'm sure, but now they're making a match, and I don't know. Now, don't quote me. Like this is I don't think they've said anything. You might know, Trevor, but I don't think they said anything about the IC match being at Bash in Berlin. It could be on a well, no, because hell, next week they're having the contender match, and then it'll go and so I guess it'll be Bash in Berlin, won't it?
I'm not sure if it will be or not because it's going to be a tournament, and I don't know if they're going to have like one big tournament like in one night.
I mean, it's likely. I wouldn't put it past them.
I mean, it'd be cool to have like a gauntlet style tournament match,
Oh yeah.
kind of like how they did before. I think they did that before Mania.
Mm-hmm. Or no, they did it. Well,
Isn't that how like Sammy got the opportunity to go against Gunther in the first place?
yep,
Was
that's
winning the
right. Yeah,
gauntlet
yeah,
over him?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yep, you're right. You're right. They did have that gauntlet match.
yeah.
Yep, that's right. I
That was kind
forgot
of the
about
start.
that.
That was kind of the start of Chad's heel run.
Yeah, so it might be.
That
I
that
mean,
that,
hell,
pla- that planted the seed.
yeah, but it might be a damn. I don't know. I feel like it'll be a. I feel like it'll just be a tournament. Like they'll probably have a few matches and because I mean, who's all supposed to be in it? I know Jey Uso's
Um,
in there.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the only dude I know of being in there.
Huh.
I wouldn't be surprised if Chad Gable wound up finding himself in there. But I also see him getting put out relatively early,
Yeah,
just because he's involved with the Wyatt Six right now. I mean, he's got a I mean, he's probably not worried about that. He's got a match with fucking Uncle Howdy
next week.
next
Yeah,
week on Raw. So
yeah, he's probably not dealing with that. But anyways, yeah, we kind of got on spill, but a little tangent. But yeah, Braun Breaker, like that was about just going over his career thus far, and it was a cool vignette. I mean, I give it a I'll give it a thumbs up. I don't know, as far as a little segment, you know. I guess the New Day segment, I don't know. I'm just not bought in. I'm not bought in.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm just like I'm in and out. I'm like, 50-50 because I'm like, get them. I don't know. Maybe you could just get them away from the Final Testament. Like, get them to do their own thing, you know. Because
Hmm.
like the New Day does, like they don't have to have anybody else to have a storyline. Like they can do it by themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, and then after that,
Yeah. We kind of after that it went into American Made pretty much formally recruiting Ivy Nile. It kind of showed a little bit of a recap as to what happened this last week before last, since we're Wednesday, year of our Lord 2073. Um, it kind of showed Ivy Nile warning Maxine to abandon Alpha Academy, and she said no, and then showing the consequence of that with Ivy beating the shit out of Maxine outside. And it went into a little backstage segment with all of American Made, pretty much formally recruiting Ivy into the group. And Ivy kind of reiterated, is like, I warned her, but she's holding me back, so I'm the pit bull. I need to, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, fucking do her thing. And they do their, because how are we made? American made. And they have their little catchphrase, I guess. And, it's catchy, but I guess we'll see. I mean, it would be cool if this is how the Creed brothers wind up getting a tag team championship because they deserve it. They're fantastic workers, and I'm glad we're kind of getting to see them at least show a little bit more personality than they
yeah,
have been.
like have some character progress.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much mic work at all yet, but I mean, this is a step in the right direction as far as they go, and I think this is almost like kind of a slightly like a less talent, like all respect in the world to everybody involved, but like a less talented version of like Team Angle.
Yeah,
Like I've told you this over the phone before, but like they remind me of like Kurt Angle and Shelton and Charlie. But anyway, they go out to Maxine and Ivy wind up going out for their match, and Maxine starts off hot, just just whipping her ass. It's like as soon as she hears the bell, it's almost like Festus. It's like she can channel her anger and dominate somebody, but she'll get hit and she gets distracted. And then that's usually when people take advantage is when she kind of gets distracted. And
yeah,
hopefully like that's something like with storytelling that's something that like she starts putting aside. But anyway, I don't even think the match had been going for 3 minutes, and all of a sudden you start hearing the lights shutting down and that piano come in, and all of a sudden Sister Abigail was just sitting right there in the ring, just staring at old Ivy. And then here came all of American Made into the ring to kind of form a barrier between the two. And then the camera cuts on the hard camera side looking over, and you see Loomis, Gacy, and Rowan all sitting there, not even in their masks, just sitting there on the side of the ring. They come in and surround everybody, and Sister Abigail just takes Nikki Cross just takes off across the ring and just starts whooping the hell out of Ivy now, just beating the brakes off of her. And then they pretty much clear house and isolate Chad from everybody. And he's sitting in the ring, in the middle of the ring by himself. And here comes old Uncle Howdy. And if you believe that Chad Gable is the best salesman on the Sister Abigail, I'm, I I wouldn't argue with you, but
Oh, sir, that shit's
he's got it down to a science.
well. He's slick with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Bo's delivering it very well as well.
Oh yeah, but Chad's just
So
selling it
like Chad's selling it like the most fucked up DDT you've ever seen.
yeah, he's selling it like the rents do, baby.
Mm-hmm. And as far as a segment, I'd have to give that, especially with like the Chad Gable, like the Sister Abigail sell as a cherry on top. I mean, I have to give it like a 9 out of 10,
Yep.
2 thumbs up. It was a
Oh,
wonderfully done. It was very brief and like there for a second. You eat like it's not like you're gonna forget the Wyatt Six exists,
no.
but there for like you didn't like I didn't expect it to come up that briefly, but the way they handled that, like I
Oh.
think it's going very well.
Oh yeah. So before we get on the next thing, I gotta ask you: what's your prediction on the match next week with
Uncle
Chad
Howdy and
and Uncle
Chad.
Howdy? Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like Uncle Howdy's probably going to get the win, but there's also a possibility of like American made. Well, I don't. I think it'll probably be the main event. Yeah,
Yep. Unless there's a
yeah.
tournament match or something. But
They may wind up getting the tournament out of the way pretty early. Either that, or they're going to do a couple matches this week, then wait next week, do a couple matches,
yeah.
and go from there. But I'm, I think it's either like Uncle Howdy's going to go over because he's not going to have the Wyatt Six out there with him, and Chad's not going to have American made with him. So
Yep.
with that in consideration, they would probably win. But I do feel like Chad is probably like American Made's probably gonna. If Uncle Howdy goes out there by himself, he's gonna get attacked on his way to the ring.
Oh yeah. But
What do you think?
oh yeah, I think. I mean, uh, you're right. I mean, he probably if he walks out there by himself, he'll probably get attacked. I mean, he just just one of them things. Like you gotta watch your surroundings, like how that,
Mm-hmm.
like how it'll go. But but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, I think I don't know. I got this feeling Chad might end up winning if it's just them out there by themselves, just to keep his heel character going. Like keep him some heat.
Yeah.
Like get him like a roll up. Like it can't be a clean win. You know what I mean? Like, and then that way, like they can keep progressing. Like, I don't know, give it a little
No.
bit more legs, I guess. Keep the storyline going. But you know, either way, I'm excited for whatever happens with that. And I guess after that, we'll lead into the Terror Twins vignette towards the. Let me check my notes. Lame ass Judgment Day. Uh,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
That's Damien's words, not mine.
on Clover Valley Judgment Day. Uh, that's yeah, I don't know, man. Like, of course, it's just Rhea and Damien like doing promos, but like, I don't know. Like, they're trying to portray them as faces now, but I mean, also, like, if you think about it, like, they did do some, like, they were some, I don't know, like, Damien was a dickhead, and, Rhea was, she was kind of bitchy too. Like, when they were
Mm-hmm.
champions and doing all that, acting like they were the leaders when there's supposed to be no leaders and shit. So it's kind of like I can see like I guess I can see both sides of the story, like why everybody's mad at each other. But
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, I mean, they had their vignette. Like I said, it's cool. Like Damien and Rhea, like they're badass and vignettes, promos, like whatever. Like they're fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So like you already know it's a thumbs up, and like they're just getting ready for the Judgment Day. Like they're just you know, like they're ready to fight them, and then it ends up like you know, Damien ends up getting a match with Dirty Dom later on in the night, and but then here it comes. Mm, let's see him Punk promo. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
The best in the world. But he
not
comes out
his best
there.
work.
He comes out there. Starts cutting him promo. Yeah, I know you're upset because he said I'm basically Taylor Swift for men when he's showing his bracelets off. Which isn't his best. I mean, I guess that isn't his best work, but it still got the crowd going. Uh, got social media stirred up a little bit. I mean, it's CM Punk. I mean, it's not like dude's still going like he just keeps you entertained. Like the
Oh
dude
yeah,
does his job to the fullest extent. So even when he says some lame ass shit, it's still CM Punk. So you're like, I don't take it. I take it with a grain of salt. Like it's still him. So, but
yeah.
he walks out
Even a
there.
working clock is wrong twice a day or something like that.
That's right. But he walks out with a strap around his neck hanging
Mm.
down. I'm like, mm. I wonder who made that prediction.
Mm-mm.
As I said last week, I was like, I wonder if they'll have a match. Like, if they're doing all this, like, they should have a strap match and do it the old school where they'd have to do, like, touch each corner of the ring. They had to touch all four sides consecutively to see who win. And by God, if I didn't call it directly on the if I didn't call it directly on the head, like that was it. Like that's what CM Punk brought out, and then McIntyre comes out there, he accepts it, and then he's like, CM Punk's like, hey, how about we just give these people in Tallahassee? No, hold up, was it Tallahassee or Orlando? No, it's Tallahassee. It
Fort
was
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, okay, yeah, because they're talking about the Florida Panthers winning the champ. Yeah, 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 and they all
Yeah.
lost their damn minds. So yeah, which but anyway, so they have all that, and like I said, Drew accepts the match, the strap match for Bash in Berlin. Punk's like, hey, how about we give Fort Lauderdale these people a match, on Raw? And Drew's like, oh yeah, I love nothing more. And he comes out there, he's like, I'm not taking that strap. He's like, you have to put that strap down. And then he's like, okay. CM Punk's like, all right. So he walks to the corner and he's like, no chance. He's like, you're gonna have to give me your damn. He said, give me my bracelet back and I'll put it down. Drew takes the bracelet off. He's like, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? And then they just went to
You're
bitching
a
at each other.
liar.
Yeah, he's like, you're a liar. You're a big fat liar. And just going back and forth, bitching like they have the last 8 months. And you know, that was about it. Like that was about the end of it. They were just like, piss me off. Can't get a damn match of them on, you know, television. You have to wait till the pay per view, some bitch. But I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a draw, but fuck, dude. Like to see them on, like just to watch them, like catch on a Raw. See Punk and McIntyre, like that'd be dope. But it is what it is. I understand trying to build it up, get everybody to turn in on the pay per view so they can make more money. But yeah, and after that, it was Liv and Dom. They had their vignette, shooting their shit at the damn Judgment Day. I mean, at the Terror Twins, and pretty much it's the same shit. Just being like, why they're mad and Then they start kissing and shit and being all fucking weird. Oh, Daddy Dom, and all that shit. And
Father.
Father, give me that mullet.
Mm.
Yeah. So Liv and Dom, they had theirs, and pretty much just Dom's like, yeah, we're gonna have this match, Damien. I'm gonna whoop your butt. But
Okay.
that was that was about it right there. Like as far as that, like I said, it wasn't much different than the Terror Twin stuff. Like I said, just their side of it. I mean, nothing like spectacular, but I guess I'd give it a thumbs up. Now the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, definitely give it a thumbs up because just their chemistry on the mic and like how they do together. So yeah. But then after that, I'll let Trevor kick it into the New Day featuring Odyssey Jones versus the
The final testicle. Um,
mm.
mm, mm, mm. Carrying cock. No, it's it, man. Look, here's the thing. I like Karrion Cross. AOP is not bad as a tag team, but there's no like Rob Halford Light is not helping them in any way because they don't let him talk.
Yep.
And like I feel like that is something that would definitely help him out is or help them out is just like let him be the voice. Like if Carrion wants to talk, let him talk every now and then, but like don't let him be the sole voice of that group. I think that's the biggest downfall of them because he's not a good enough mic worker to carry a group. Fucking Paul Ellering is, if history serves me correctly, I mean the Road Warriors are only one of the biggest tag teams of all time. And they didn't necessarily need him, but he was a big part of their success.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you put a mic in his hand and just like let him go back to 1980 fucking, you know, we made love in my Chevy van like that time, and just like let him go back to that point. Let him drive his Dodge Astro van in his mind, and all of a sudden, they might actually start getting over a little bit. But I digress. The New Day in the Final Testament, going back more into the character work they're doing with Xavier Woods right now. He was initially going to start the match off, and Kofi kind of tags himself in, which, to be fair, kind of a dick move considering the conversation they just had. Um,
Yep.
Xavier kind of overlooks it, and he gets out and just stands ringside. And anyway, Kofi proceeds like the next 7-8 minutes just getting his ass whooped, and they're all taking turns. Karrion gets in there, and Kofi gets a bit of offense in, but like he pretty much like works 90% of the match for the New Day. And Xavier didn't. He got one elbow drop in towards the end of the match, and that was it from him. But Xavier, you know, he winds up sticking his arm out because I think it Razor that went over there and knocked Odyssey off the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude went over there and knocked him off, and Kofi wound up hitting a counter on him. They're both on the ground, um, doing a hot tag situation with both corners. And Odyssey's off, and Xavier's like, "Here, get me." I haven't even been hit in this match. Odyssey gets up there, sticks his arm out. Granted, to Kofi's credit, Odyssey was closer and he tags him, but he did just get knocked. He got knocked off the ring. Was sitting in the floor. Um, One little side note: Xavier didn't exactly go check on him, but I mean he was kind of in a situation where he had to be actively present. And anyway, Kofi winds up tagging Odyssey in, and he starts taking people out. And Karrion winds up getting in there and getting the better of him for just half a second. I think it's Akam winds up hitting. I think it's a sidewalk slam on Kofi, and then here comes Xavier off the top rope with an elbow drop over the ref. Ref's ducking like it's a natural disaster. Beautiful elbow drop. Gets up, immediately takes a uranagi, which, if I'm not mistaken, was referred to as a rock bottom. And
Pat McAfee.
yeah, you'll have that on these big jobs. Anyway, dude turns around and winds up trying to go after Odyssey. Odyssey hits him with that spin and side slam. 1, 2, 3. New Day wins. Xavier is a bit upset, but he just kind of smiles through the pain. And yeah, like I said, kind of like Harley reiterated, this is one of the two, maybe three storylines going on right now that I'm just not fully invested into. I would really like for Xavier to turn heel at the end of this. And if Big E is healthy enough to come back, I would love for him to be able to come back as a heel and then go after the tag team titles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Either that or that, like, him turning heel may also lead to him like getting himself into the singles championship race a bit more. But I think more than anything, I think the tag team division really needs a buff because I mean they're fighting for air out there.
Yeah, it's not deep, man. It's not good. Like the tag team champs are like
There's,
it's pretty much non-existent. Like it really doesn't matter on SmackDown or Raw for that matter. Like the
yeah,
tag
I mean
team division is
nobody's
weak.
defending.
Yeah, like it's just weak, man. Like NXT's weak. You know, their tag teams like they've had damn people from TNA coming over to help. You know, uplift it. You know, like
Yeah,
hell, you got that. Then you got SmackDown's weak. I mean, SmackDown's like it's stronger than Raw is though. Like they actually have talent there. They put gold on the Bloodline 2.0 just so they could have a damn just to make them look like a dominant force. But I mean, we all know it's some bullshit. So that's another story. But yeah, like the tag team needs some damn. You're right. It needs a buffet. Like it needs some new shit to come out. So needs some help. Like it needs a damn big old shot of 10 cc's. Mm.
uh,
But yeah, but after that, like the Terror Twins had another segment. I mean, not much different, about the same. Like just reiterating, like wanting the match with Dom and Damien, and talking about getting ready for Bash in Berlin. Y'all just, I mean, nothing different. Like I said, it's just about the same as the other, like the vignette they had. So I mean, I'm not just gonna keep beating a dead horse.
yeah,
Uh, like Big Bronson. Mm. Big Big Bronson versus the Miz in a no DQ match. Miz is backstage with Adam Pearce. He's like, I could have just fined him and I could have just fined Bronson and let him go. You know, like be suspended. And Miz like, yeah. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? He's like, no, I'm not sure. He's like, I really don't want to do this, but I got to because he hurt our truth. He's like, I don't have many friends in this business. And he's like, our truth loves me. He's like, I gotta do so. He's like, if my friend, he's like, the few friends I have, I'm loyal to. So, you know, that's just how Miz was. Like he did what he thought was right and defended our truth's name. And
that's right.
but and man, it was a good match. Like at one point, it's like every Miz match. I swear to God, even though he has the most losses in WWE history, it's like every Miz match that you watch, you're like, damn, he could win this. Like he can win this. Like there's a point where you get in there, it's like even if he needs to put somebody over, you're like, damn, he looks good. Like he could actually win this. Even though it wouldn't help the but like even if it But with Miz, it don't matter if he wins or loses. He's helping the storyline regardless. That's just the
Oh
presence
yeah,
that he brings. But it was like, I was like, yeah, I mean, hell, he might actually fuck around and do it. But then he hit that tornado DDT onto the chair, and Bronson kicked out at one, and he was like, when he kicked out, I was like, oh yeah, fuck, this is over. Like that was pretty much when I knew it was it was a wrap.
yeah. And he screamed. If you could hear over the mic, Bronson's like, "Don't piss me off!" Like fucking after a tornado DDT onto a chair, and Miz is like, "Oh okay,
And that's pretty much when
okay,
you knew it was about to go downhill.
yeah."
And, but man, I mean, honestly, it was a damn good match for no DQ. Like the spots they had in it, going through trash cans, chair shots. I mean, kendo sticks beating the hell. I mean, they beat the hell out of each other. Them kendo sticks. Hitting
Hmm.
the table like it was good. But obviously, Big Bronson had to have the he had to get the win to solidify what he's doing. This heel run he's on right now, and he hit him with a tsunami one, and then he's like he gets up, and the whole crowd just stands up on their feet like holy shit, like this dude's about to do it again. Like the crowd is so into Bronson Reed right now, it's insane. And like, because you say like if you had told like we talked about like if you would have said a month ago, you know, Bronson Reed's like gonna be taking over, like he's gonna have the whole crowd on their feet and like everybody cheering and booing for him, like you'd be like, I don't reckon.
No, probably
Because
not.
he didn't have much going on, like and then all of a sudden it's like Triple H has been pushing this son of a bitch to the moon. And it's like, damn, he can actually handle this. Like he's good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Big Bronson. Then, but as Trevor says in one of these notes, second degree murder prevented by Braun Strowman. That's pretty much how it was. Like,
Like I don't think he premeditated it. It's just like he was going to do that to whoever was in front of him, though.
yep. And Braun Strowman walked out there, and they had a stare down, and we're like, brother, we're about to have two big meaty men slapping meat on each other. So much meat. And so I mean, we're ready for that next week. That actually might be the main event. You're talking about Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Braun and Bronson, but we shall see. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like dude, that match is going to be fucking stellar. Like both
Oh,
of
it's
them,
going to be
like
wonderful.
Braun's a great worker, obviously. Which I think Braun's gonna. I think Braun's gonna lose, and Bronson's gonna get the dub. To like I said, to solidify this heel run he's on. He's not gonna squash it. Like he's not gonna do all the tsunamis to Braun, but it will be cool to see what happens with it. And yeah, and after that, it cut backstage. After the Braun and Bronson stare down, they had Sheamus and Kaiser segment. Sheamus is interviewing with Kathy Kelly. He's just going on, about the knot in his hand. He's like, yeah, it hurts, but it was good to get that bro kick in the, on Butch, or he's calling him Butch, Pete Dunne. And Kaiser comes out there and he's like, why are you interviewing the opener when I'm doing the main event? Like, you should talk to me. And he's like, oh, the opener. He's like, yeah, well, I might be. He's like, but I'm gonna watch this, man. He's like, I don't know why you're back here messing with me. Like, this don't make sense. But he said, what you should be ready for is what the Viper's gonna do to you. He's like, Randy Orton's the apex predator. Like, he's not gonna, you know. He's like, you can't turn your back on. Like, I'm not worried about him. Blah blah. He's like, you say that. He's like, but I'm gonna sit back here and watch on the TV. He's like, and I'm gonna see you take the three most deadliest words in all of sports entertainment, RKO. And sure enough, he called it.
HIV.
Mm, sure
Hmm.
enough, he called it. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, here
Well,
comes.
Braun, Braun Breaker big dicked an interview about the IC title tournament. And before we really get onto that, I just want to add one little thing. It's kind of funny that Ludwig Kaiser was calling Sheamus the opener like he wasn't actually on TV before Sheamus was. on this episode. Like, to be completely fair, like Kaiser was involved in the actual like opening sequence with Orton and Gunther, and he's calling Sheamus the opener. I was like, what does that say about you? Like you're a side character in the actual opener, so it is what it is. Anyway, Braun Breaker gets an interview, and he just pretty much just had some kind words for anybody wanting to get into the match and try to compete for the a shot at the IC title. And he pretty much just said, "It's not my fault that I'm a badass. It's what I do. I've never not been honest about that. I break people, and for anybody that's stupid enough to decide to win this tournament, I just want you to know that I'm going to spear you through the floor and give you the beating of a lifetime, and that will be my fault." And anyway, directly after that, it goes into Dominic walking out for his match with Priest, and as previously stated, the Terror Twins already knew it was going to be a trap going in, so Rhea she was pretty much conveniently nearby, and as Priest was making his way down to the ring with Dom in the ring, here came Carlito, JD, and Finn, and Damian handles all of them, but eventually the numbers just become too rough, and he starts getting a bit overpowered. So here comes Rhea, and immediate response, here comes Liv, and Liv just starts waxing Rhea's ass for her and starts throwing her into the ring post, re-injuring that shoulder she had fucked up at SummerSlam, and just in general. But um, the lame ass Judgment Day just absolutely brutalizes the Terror Twins, and they just kind of pull him to the middle of the ring, and Dominic sets his Liv's finally on top shirt on Rhea's face, and she throws it off, but Damien's sitting there unconscious pretty much after he took a coup de grace and a frog splash, as well as just getting mobbed up on by four different people.
He took a backstabber as well.
Yeah, he took a backstabber as well. Shit, I think the only thing he didn't take was the JD's suplex.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, it was a fun segment, I guess. I mean, it's progressing the story, and it's not making it too lopsided as far as like who's coming out on top in these little skirmishes and all that.
Yeah.
And you know, directly after that, cuts to commercial. It comes back, and the Judgment Day is in the back. Um, pretty much saying is like that's just a little taste of what's going to happen to you at Bash at Berlin, and just pretty much for everything going forward. And then Liv and Dom are being gross, and they're all pretty much saying is like y'all were world champions because of us, and now you're not world champions because of us as well. It's funny how things work out. And Carlito winds up chiming in, and that's cool because of course he does. And you know, tossing that apple up and down, and Finn Balor's playing like it's kind of ironic at the end of the day because like they're mad because you know Priest and Rhea are acting as leaders in a group that's not supposed to have leaders, like you touched on earlier. But Finn's kind of fallen into this role of being the leader. So I mean, it's a bit hypocritical, but I mean, I still do understand the initial departure.
Yeah.
Um, with that being said, it went into honestly, like between this and the main event, probably match of the night.
No. Pretty close. We had Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective versus Unholy Union for women's tag team championship. Man, it was like, man, it was a good match. It really was. I mean, I mean, all these women are great workers, but I swear to God, dude, Io Sky, motherfuck, man, dude, she is so fucking clean in the ring. Like, she is so fun to watch. And Kyrie Sane's a bad bitch too. Like, she was doing some moonsault, like coming over the top rope, and like suicide. Like, well, not really a suicide dive because she was like pretty much moonsaulting over the top rope and landing on him outside of the ring. Like, dude, she's just those two girls, dude. I swear, Kyrie Zane, Io Sky, they're so fun to watch, and like, it's gonna be fun when Asuka finally gets back. She's fun. Like, we all know, Asuka's probably the greatest women's Japan rep. Probably, hell, yeah, for sure. Like, Japan wise and like internationally, yeah, probably the best women's wrestler. WWE wise, I mean, she's shit. The I don't know, like the amount of stuff she's done in the WWE is insane as well. So like, she could be.
You could argue she's top five
Oh yeah.
off WWE alone, but everything encompassing, she may be the GOAT of women's wrestling as a
Oh
whole.
yeah. Like, yeah, international. Like, as far as everything, like every other thing, yeah, without a doubt, she's that. But like you said, yeah, maybe like WWE. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard, It's kind of like the Cena and Orton thing I touched on. There's certain people like spent their whole time in WWE and like they did their stuff like Trish Stratus. Like, as
Yeah,
far as strictly WWE, like Trish is the goat, and it's that's just
it
how
might
it
be
is.
close
Yeah, like Bailey's probably second.
at this point.
I
I
mean,
mean, she's still like she's my favorite all time, and I
yeah,
still feel like in my heart she's my goat. But Trish is objectively the goat.
yeah. Like, but Bailey's probably number two, honestly. Like WWE, like strictly WWE wise, like
Yeah.
Bailey, Bailey's probably number two. And then probably, I mean, Charlotte. Like, I don't care if people can say whatever about Charlotte, but she's up there, dude. Like, she's probably number three. Has
Oh
to
yeah.
be. Like, it's how good, like, just what she's done. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, man. Like, I'm ready for. Yeah, I'm ready for Oscar to be back and them and join them, but and Dakota Kai. But yeah, man, Damage Control. Like, I felt like they should have won the title. That was my pick last week. Like, I felt like they should have won the titles, but they would. I don't think Unholy Union's going to hold them that much longer. Maybe a few more weeks at the most. But which, well, I say that because I say I was hoping for Damage Control to win it, but my pick, I thought, like, I wanted them to win it, but I thought that Baszler and Stark would have won it for the story, like storyline wise, but they didn't. I mean, like I said, I think the title will end up changing hands pretty soon anyway, so it'll be all right. Maybe they'll make another one, They're supposed to be. I'm ready for the women's mid card titles to get in effect, and I'm ready for the women's. I hope they bring another tag team because they got a bunch of tag teams like on SmackDown and Raw. Like, I would like for them to have a tag team. Have another championship for some. I guess for SmackDown. Yeah, for SmackDown. As of right now, because Unholy Union is on Raw, they have theirs. So if they still have the title, and they make another one, like put it on SmackDown, or what I'm saying. However that
Yeah.
works out, like just have one for each brand. I think would be the best. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a great match, and Unholy Union ended up winning at the end of it. It was a car crash at the end. It was fun as hell, and like they just ended up on top. Like, literally, they just ended up on top of another body and got the W. So it's just one of them chaotic matches. And then you had Jey Uso interview backstage, and he put his name, said he was going for the Intercontinental title, and like we talked about last night. But like Jey Uso's entering the IC title, he needs to win, the son of a bitch. Like it's fucking time, man. Like put a fucking belt on him. Put a singles belt on Jey Uso. Like I know, even if it's not forever, like even if it's like a month or two, whatever. Like for one, you're not gonna bury Braun Breaker. Like that he's gonna be a multi-time world champion as long as nothing bad happens. Like if everything just goes as planned and like how it is right now, like Braun Breaker's gonna be all right. Like I'm sure he's gonna be a Royal Rumble winner. He'll win Money in the Bank at some point. He'll do all, like he's gonna be fine. He's not going anywhere. If he if all he does is win, if he loses his first title, after a month or whatever, like it's not gonna bother him. He's gonna be okay. And I'm like, put a damn belt on Jey Uso already. Like just to solidify him being a singles competitor, That's all. I mean, really, that's all I'm fucking asking for. Like, I don't feel like it's that damn much. Fuck. We know
Right.
him and Sammy are gonna end up winning the belts, the World Tag Team belts on Raw. But like, fuck it, damn, I'm just tired of Jay Uso. Like, it, they fumble the bag on him, and then they're like, yeah, we can put a belt on him. A tag team belt. Like, it's like, okay, dude, we get it. We know he's a good tag team wrestler. Like, dude, like, push the son of a bitch singles wise, but. Anyways, that's my little rant on that. And Pat McAfee, he is leaving until he'll be back day one of Raw on when they start Netflix. So you know he's going. He has the prior obligations to College Game Day. And fun fact, they are going to Dublin, Ireland this week because there's a game over there. I can't remember who it is. I guess I should have, looked at. I don't know. I forgot. It's been a long damn day. Uh, but yeah, they're having a game over in Dublin, Ireland. So college game day is going over there, and they have the guest picker is none other than it's a Sheamus game, Lobster Head.
That's
Mm.
right. Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, yeah.
No,
But
that'll be exciting because just as a side note, that will like in its own right kind of be a bit exciting just because
Sheamus and
I
Triple
like I
H is
don't
not what comes to my mind.
yeah I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like it's a bit like stereotypical to assume he's a Notre Dame fan, but he probably is, all things considered. But yeah, we wish the Pat McAfee well doing the college game days because they were very fun. Really, no matter where he goes, he's just like the brightest light in the room as far as being a personality. And I love hearing him on commentary. But I hope at some point that he can actually start doing this full time. But after that, the main event was starting, and Randy Orton walked out first, and people still singing his theme song. Again, thank you, France. We appreciate that. Um, just I know we've talked about it a lot, but like it's so weird seeing Randy Orton as like a 300 pounder,
Oh yeah,
but he's working it really well. Like he's working being like the big dude
It-
really well.
yeah, and like he's moving just as quick and agile as he always has. That's what's insane. Like that's what's mind boggling about it. You're just like, damn, he's big. It's like this is a whole different dude. And then it's like, god damn, he's still moving like he's 240. Like
Yeah.
fuck.
I know that power slam is coming off a
Woo.
bit more like powerhouse than it
Woo.
is like as it usually is. It's reminding me of those damn like gold dust power slams, dude.
Brother,
They're
it's
fucking he's got some snap on it, but it's just stiff as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, wrestling Kaiser, you can pretty much be as stiff as you want to because he works pretty violently. You know, with that in mind, though, Kaiser comes out and the match takes underway. Um, it's a fantastic back and forth. I didn't really think that much about Orton and Kaiser potentially like meshing that well in the ring, but no, they I mean, you got two pretty much chameleons can work with anybody they need to.
Yep.
As far as like they can work with a high flyer, make them look like $1,000,000. They can work with somebody twice their size and then just act like they're the smallest wrestler ever. And it's wonderful to see that kind of duality out of somebody. Brock Lesnar was really good at that too. Um, but anyway, the match keeps going on, and Kaiser winds up setting Randy's leg up that he chalk blocked earlier in the match onto the kind of hanging over the steel steps there, top right side of the ring, and he does his signature little run around the ring and throw a knee into somebody on that, and he did that, and I don't know if it was. I don't remember quite if it was directly after that or if they had a little bit of filler in between them. But I think he wound up setting him up again and doing his head like that. And Gunther was out there watching at this point, and he winds up running around the ring, and Randy gets up and just clotheslines his fucking head off. And right after that, he just winds up picking him up, back suplex on the announce table, and then he picks him up, and then he throws him on the announce table. And then he picks him up, and then he throws him on the announce table. And then he picks him up and throws him. he just he just starts whooping that ass for him, and he throws him in the ring and starts trying to get him set up for the vintage Orton DDT. And Ludwig winds up countering out of it and getting a bit more offense on him just for Randy to turn around, hit him with a superplex just to make sure. It's like, now you quit kind of energy from. And after that, hits him with the vintage DDT. Starts to try to hit him with an RKO. Ludwig rolls him up, 2 count. They both get back up. RKO, match is over. Directly. And after the match, Ludwig rolls out of the ring. Randy draws a line in the middle of the ring, tells Gunther to go ahead and cross it. Gunther immediately obliges, and the screen cuts to black on a brawl, which I hate that they're doing that. Like, if you're going to end a match on a brawl and it's the main event, at least show the end of the brawl.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't cut in the middle of the action. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But overall, like the main event in general, I'd have to say for me that was the second best match of the night. That triple threat tag team match was fucking amazing. But overall, I'd have to give this show probably. It felt a little weaker because there's not as much wrestling on this one. But I mean, the storylines they're cooking as per usual. I'd have to give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go much higher than that, but I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, me personally, I was thinking about a 7.
Yeah.
7 out of 10, 7.5 at most. I mean, it was, like I said, a good episode, just more, which I love the storytelling. I mean, that's what draws you into wrestling. Like watching it every week, obviously, but like there's just a little bit more storytelling than wrestling than I'd like, I guess, on an episode, on a 3 hour show. But I mean, it did its justice, though. Like all the stories just lined up, like, they kept feeding them. So it's like, can't complain really. No, not too much. But yeah, it's a fun time. Like ready to see this IC tourney evolve and see what's going to happen. And Maybe they'll have an IC title at Bash in Berlin. More than likely, I wouldn't think so. But, never know. It might be. I mean, I don't know. I'm ready to see how it progresses. Just how everything
Absolutely.
going. Like, it's on a good trend. I'm ready for Bash in Berlin next weekend. Just to see what other matches are going to, see what other matches we can get on the card.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a bit more going because I mean, kind of this is more of a SmackDown related thing, but honestly, like one of the storylines, I'm not fully in it yet, just because I feel like there's a lot missing at this point. But Kevin Owens and Cody, like
Mm,
it's getting better, but it's just this has been Cody's weakest storyline with the belt so far.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know it's in its infancy, but I don't see him like I don't see it escalating to a point to it being like the number one story on SmackDown.
Yeah. The only way I can do
I
it
re-
is if Kevin turns heel like this Friday.
yeah,
Like he'll have to turn fast and like get violent. It's really about the only way. About the only way it's gonna get very interesting. Like take over Roman.
yeah,
The only way it's gonna take over Roman's storyline. But we'll watch SmackDown this Friday and see what happens with that. So
yeah.
see what they end up doing.
Hopefully, it don't disappoint. We
Oh,
got the
maybe.
musket ready.
Mm-hmm. Always keep it on standby. But other than that, I think that's going to be our episode. That's going to be our review for today. And, you know, that's about all we got. Which we'll have another episode tomorrow. We're gonna do our albums. We're gonna do our albums of 1993 that we've picked out, and stay tuned for that because I know that people love the music episodes, I guess. But
That's right.
you know, that's gonna be a good time. Get to talk about some more music, and you know, I don't know. I like doing the music episodes. It's fun, like getting to scratch our brain about like album songs and artists we haven't thought about in a while. So it's gonna be fun, and then we might get a little crazy this weekend. You never know. We might drop a few more episodes like we did last weekend.
That's right.
Drop about
The
4 episodes.
weekend power hour.
That's right. We ain't got nothing to do. Might as well then make some podcast episodes.
That's right. This has been the 13th episode of Our Yard. By this weekend, we'll be up to 50 talking like, hello, we're here and we like to talk about Raw. It's like it's Saturday.
Yeah. Also, we do have week 0 this weekend, like we talked about Sheamus being a guest speaker. So we will have some college football. We will have our first college football episode that should be available either late Saturday night, probably Sunday, or probably early Sunday morning.
Yeah,
Because
probably. You're looking
we'll
probably
probably record
early
it.
Sunday morning.
We'll probably record it during what would have been the Pac-12 game schedule. The late night. Those 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock games. But yeah, we will have that. That's just kind of a little bit of what to look forward to this weekend. Some music episodes, get some sports episodes. Getting close to football season, so we got to do it to them.
That's
And
right.
yeah, just keep your eyes peeled and your ears open for what we have coming your way. And with that, I guess we're gonna sign off for the evening. Y'all have
See
a
you next time.
Love you guys. Be safe out there. Please, somebody tell my wife. Please tell my ex-wife to open the door. I'm tired of this. I'm coming back. I don't know how.